Hey guys, Paul from Ashen Phoenix. It is New Comic Book Day for the week of May the 5th, and we're going to start right now. This episode brought to you by Star Wars, because, I mean, technically it's May the 4th be with you, and today is Revenge of the 5th, but, like, whatever. It's fine. We can pretend that we're cool enough to be sponsored by Disney someday.
Hey guys, Tim from Capes and Scowls, Team Ashen, the comic book store, everywhere else. I'm just everywhere. I'm all over the place, right, Paul? Get around. Time to talk about trades. First up, I've got Wind, Book 1. This is James Tynion, who's really crushing it right now. Just everything he does. It's weird. Rainbow Bright, Volume 1. This is a smaller digest version of this. It was previously released in a regular size format. Tiny Titans, Pet Club. I mean, it looks great. Who was the one? Pet Club. Pet Club. Paul, you want to start a pet club?
No.
All right.
Pugs. I don't
Pugs. That's fair. Metropolis Grove. I think it's about Bizarro, but I don't know. Green Arrow, Black Canary, Till Death Do They Part. I read some of this. This was good. Dark Knight's Death Metal Multiverse Who Laughs. I love the art of the creepy cats on the front. Beyond that, I don't know. I just Dark Knight's too much for me, man. It's just so much. So much. Judge Dredd, False Witness. This looks pretty cool, but I love all Judge Dredd stuff. Be More Batman, Face Your Fears and Look Good Doing It. Boost your confidence and become a hero. Sure, book. Batman, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. This has already been released as a hardcover. Now it's out in softcover format. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Willow. I want to make a Willow the movie joke because I don't know anything about Buffy, but I can't. It's the woman from Penn and Teller. There you go.
I think you get like one person that was just like, I watched that movie.
It's on Disney Plus, I think.
Is it really?
I think so.
I gotta watch it. I gotta see how.
Because they're gonna do a show or something.
I'm curious how.
It's Warwick Davis. He's at Ewok.
I'd have to really see. I haven't seen that since like the 80s.
I'm sure it's some level of bad, but it's probably fun. It's one of those, you know, those PG but not actually PG movies, you know, fantasy, whatever. Don't distract me, Paul. I'm doing the trades. He's not sorry. He likes this. Now you can put Willow in the text. Goosebumps, Secrets of the Swamp. Oh no. I don't know. I don't know how well the Goosebumps appeal to people who read the books back in the day. I think it's trying to appeal to a new audience. That's probably a smart move. Dead Man Logan. This is the complete thing. It was originally 2 trades. Now it is 1. This is amazing. This is from the EC Archives. Tales from the Crypt, Volume 1, in nice soft cover format. A lot of these were released in these big, massive hardcovers. That was a fire truck, everybody. King Deadpool. This is Volume 2 of the most recent Deadpool run, which is Kelly Thompson. We got Miss Marvel, Volume... Wow, they're up to 3 here of the new run. It still does well. I don't know. I haven't kept up with Miss Marvel. You guys know what I read. I read weird shit. We Only Find Them When They're Dead. This was released with a different cover. It was like the early Ketchup kind of version. This is the actual cover. I guess it probably helps if I hold it still instead of going like this. So many trades. Mighty Morphin, Volume 1. Everybody's been really digging the Power Rangers stuff. And finally, Squadron Supreme. You want to read the original Squadron Supreme? This is it. From 85 and some other older stuff. Alright, so there's actually older stuff than this, but this is, you know, this is good.
First up, we have Batman issue number 8. Kind of felt pressured to do this one. Don't think that we're going to fall to peer pressure every time, but there's just a lot of hype for Miracle Molly. So I figured, why not? We had some extra time. This actually takes place in the middle of an arc, so a lot of what is going on we don't quite know unless you've been reading the comic. We feel like we're in the middle of a Scarecrow episode and also the beginning of the Peacemaker initiative that was in that nightmare scenario of what's going on with on Infinite Frontier, and we meet Miracle Molly, and it's an interesting story. Like I wouldn't mind checking out the rest of the book to see what happened prior to this. I don't know if it's something to look into. But anytime you're dealing with a new Batman character, there's always that possibility of having someone like Harley or Punchline or something like that coming through, and we don't have somebody like Mr. Bloom, where it's just like, yeah, it's a new Batman villain, and then when nobody cares. So, like, could be good. We just don't know. But check it out if you want.
All right, my first book is an AWA book. You know I love AWA. It is Marjorie Finnegan, Temporal Criminal. This is by Garth Ennis, you know, the guy who did Preacher and The Boys. And this has some of that humor, my goodness, the insults and the vulgarities. I didn't like it. I'm very sad to say. Cool concept. Basically, she goes through time, she's trying to steal stuff, and she's trying to make sure when she murders a bunch of people, in this case, Egyptians, that are trying to put one of their leaders in a tomb, that she is leaving reasonable alibis for their death, because she is just shooting people with guns and things like that. So she wants to make sure that it's like, oh, this guy choked to death, and, you know, she just smashes him with the gun in the throat and crushes his esophagus. Things like that, fun things. Weird story. It has some really cool art, really cool visuals, but at the same time, I'd rather not. There's other books I'd rather put my attention into. Garth Ennis, I love old Garth Ennis. I haven't found the Garth Ennis that I like out of his newer stuff. If you know what I should be reading by Garth Ennis of his newer stuff, let me know. This one's not it.
Next up, we have Heroes Reborn, issue number 1. Blade wakes up, and the world has changed. The Squadron Supreme never disappeared. As a result, they never had to assemble the Avengers. They never had to find Captain America. And because of that, so much of the Marvel Universe has changed. But the only person that recognizes it is Blade. And he has to kind of piece together what is going on, what has happened. Looking at some of the other covers and stuff like that, I kind of have an idea who might be behind this. But there are hints to the malevolentness. Is that a word? Malevolentness?
It is now.
Maliciousness. We'll just go with maliciousness because I know that's a word. Well, no, you know what? I know the malevolent nature of what is going on. That's where we'll go. There are hints of what's going on in here, but you don't really quite know. But I mean, for a new series, it's not bad. I liked it. I like the idea behind it. I'm not sold on getting the 30 some odd books that are in this. Like, I don't know. I might check out Spider-Man just because it's kind of an interesting idea. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot in here. There's a lot. So if you want to check this out, I liked it. I liked it the first book. I don't know how invested I'm going to get into it, but definitely good for a first read.
All right, next up we have The Good Asian. It's just like The Good Wife. It's not at all like The Good Wife. This is about a detective story of a Chinese detective in 1936, here in America, where we weren't super nice to Chinese people or any non-white people. You know what? We were pretty terrible. Kids, get out there. We were pretty terrible. And this is reinforcing that. It is a very cool character. He is an amazing detective, and he's kind of gotten to that position because of his skills and what he is able to do. And I really enjoyed the detective side of this. It's a pretty interesting story. It seems, I mean, I don't know a ton of the history in detail around this, so I would like to know a little more. But just a really cool noir-style detective story with some ungodly racism thrown in. Just know that's in there. If you don't want your kids to learn awful things to call Chinese people, Jesus, there is some awful, awful things in here. So just know that. But it's important. It's important to the story, and that you see how terrible people were treated. And I think it's a great detective story. I'm curious where it's going to go. I might be in. I'm not sure. But it was pretty good. I'm definitely going to pick this up, this issue 1 for sure.
Hey, look, books I did like. No, I'm kidding. I did like Heroes Reborn, but not nearly as much as Nocterra, issue number 3. This book has just been non-stop action and non-stop excitement, but the plot has been spectacular. um, we're finding more and more what is going on with the human shades and how dangerous and how malevolent these creatures actually are, as our main characters are still being chased by what we now know is a weird kind of serial killer that was given these powers and probably shouldn't have been given these powers. And the fallout from that encounter and what has been happening with her brother going through. This is going to be kind of a tipping point. I anticipate the next issue or two to be crazy, but the art has been fantastic in this, and the writing is spot on. Almost my pick of the week, but not quite. I mean, really, really close. Really close, but not quite.
All right, it's time for my pick of the week. Paul, you know what it is?
I don't.
Oh, Paul.
I forgot what you picked off the wall.
I can always rely on you to not know my pick of the week.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
It's Star Wars. War of the Bounty Hunters, issue Alpha. That's a weird number. You got a McNiven cover after Stephen Platt. That's kind of fun. Basically, here is what you have. This takes place between Empire and Jedi. This is where Boba Fett is bringing to Jabba the Hutt Han Solo, Frozen, and Carbonite. It's a very cool side quest that you don't get in the movies. And to give you as little details as possible, basically he is about to deliver Han Solo when he realizes he thinks he's dying inside the Carbonite. So he goes to a low-life doctor friend of his and he goes, "Oh yeah, this is a bad idea. Whose idea was this?" He goes, "Oh, it wasn't mine." He goes, "Yeah, well, he might die." He goes, I can save him, but I need a favor from you." Boba Fett doesn't have the money. He's been going through all the stuff you've seen in the movies. So he agrees to take on an enemy of this doctor in exchange for him saving Han Solo's life. It is a pretty brutal issue. There is crazy, crazy fight scenes in it. And it's just a really cool addition to the Star Wars universe. And taking place at a point I didn't think anything happened, you know? Really cool. If you're even remotely a Star Wars fan, check it out. You will like it. And, yeah. It was awesome. So I'm down for this for sure.
What is my pick of the week? It is The Last Witch, issue number 5. I've been raving about this series from the start. This is the last issue in what should be the end of this story, but not the end of this story. This really takes a great cliffhanger. Where our main character is tracking down the last witch. We find all of the just craziness. We don't know what to do with the fairy. We don't know what is going on with him, what his intentions are. We feel that from the cliffhanger from the last book that he's not who he says he is. Yet he still is doing what he needs to do to kind of help her win the day. But what costs? Because she is feeling herself starting to slip. You've been seeing it each issue when she does defeat a witch, that her powers grow and she starts giving into more and more of what kind of made the witches kind of go in the way they did before. I'm trying to be vague, but the art is fantastic. The writing is great. This is a really fun story. I need more of it. It says it's the end because it's a 1 in 5, but I'm really, really hoping that this is not where the story ends. So definitely grab it. I mean, if you haven't been able to find it yet, the trade should be out relatively shortly, because that's kind of how Boom is. Boom and Image are actually really good about getting their trades out very quickly. Definitely grab this book. It is fantastic, and I need more. I need a career. Give me more. Give me more. So grab it.
All right, everybody, that's the end of the video. Thank you for checking it out. Of course, you could see Paul on Twitch playing Dead by Daylight usually, but he does some other stuff sometimes. You can download, what is it, Dick Spur?
Yeah,
is an app that you can do through Twitch that allows you to mess with his game. I tried it. It was awesome. I didn't know what I was doing half the time, but I was hammered. Anyways, it's fun to...
It did mess me up quite a few times.
I was like, I don't know what this does. Go, little thing, go. It's fun. Basically, he's like, hey, pay a couple dollars and you can mess with me. I'm like, all day long. All day long. Is there like a better value? Let me type that in. I need this. So there's that. You can also check me out again at Capes and Scowls Podcast. We have all kinds of cool stuff up there. Movie reviews, comic reviews, all kinds of reviews. I'll review anything you want. And that is it. So have a good rest of your week. Enjoy yourself. We'll see you next week. If you're not going to enjoy yourself, well, just keep it down, will you? Stop bugging everybody.
Happy Mother's Day.
Hi, Ma!